morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in this beautiful planet of ours. This is Marc, the Intuitive Prospector, here for another Metaphysical Mocha Mondays, here broadcasting on the Intuitive Prospector page this morning. I just want to give it a second for people to get on board, to join us. If you guys don't mind, if you don't mind sharing on a page where you think somebody would get a benefit of participating in today's conversation. Today we're going to talk about paranormal prospecting and also working with the power of psychometry, and also give you a little bit of a background of last night's paranormal prospecting at a haunted hotel here in Seattle, Washington. So give me a second here. Let me know where you're from. If you're just joining for Metaphysical Mocha Mondays, we're in our second season here. Where I'm here every Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so I guess that would be 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And I'm changing up the format a little bit, where I'm going to go right into the Q&A after show. So this is a half-hour show topic where I will give you some inspirational for the week, some metaphysics, some spirituality, some psychic sciences, some mediumship, depends on what each week brings. But I see a lot of you starting to join in. Good morning, everybody. Seeing Michelle and Kira and Samantha and April and who else is on here? Paula, good morning, everybody. Misty, good morning. Janet, good morning. So I'm going to turn the comments off for just right now so I can focus on the next half hour of getting the message out to all of you. And I'm also sharing out the live feed to just a few pages, because I know I have a few other pages, including my Inspired Living radio page, which is my weekly radio show over on the Om Times radio page. So give me just a second here, and I'm doing a lot of the sharing, myself today. So we probably won't have as big of audience, which is totally fine. But good morning to all of you. Good morning, Carol. How are you? Hey, Sheila. Good morning. Good morning, Carol. I'm doing a little bit more interaction with the show. We're going to run for a half hour with the topic, and then right at 8:30 I will switch over, staying on the same page, the Intuitive Prospector page, and doing a Q&A live after show where I directly will have a conversation with all of you awesome people that are watching today. But most importantly, if you've hung out with me before, you know that you got to have your coffee, you got to have your tea. Because if it's Metaphysical Mocha Mondays with Marc, you're here with me, hanging out, having a Facebook Live. So I hope that you guys are having a fantastic day. And I'm going to talk about last night's investigation. So we did a little bit of paranormal investigation at a hotel called the Sorrento Hotel. I have a picture of it here, I believe. I had it somewhere. Oh, I'm using it as a bookmark. So this is the actual hotel. I actually took the Do Not Disturb sign with me. So that's the actual hotel. Today we're talking about paranormal prospecting, but also the power of psychometry, because this was interesting about the hotel. It was built in 1909, so it's well over 100 years old. And we actually stayed there not knowing that it was actually a haunted hotel, to believe it or not. We actually won it in a gala dinner that we had last year for Arts West. Arts West is a local theater here that we go to see plays. Very intimate setting, very great setting. And we bid on this auction package, and it was a Sorrento hotel. Well, unbeknownst to us, it's actually a very active hotel when it comes to the paranormal. So I thought, well, this is excellent. This is right down my alley as a spiritual medium. But I tried not to get any insight to anything about the hotel. I didn't want to know anything. If you've worked with me before, you know I'd rather not know anything. Don't feed me information. Let the spirit world make that connection. And so we ended up staying in their most active room, room 408. And I guess a lady had passed into spirit some years back and has been known and been seen around the hotel. So now I know this because I Googled it this morning on our way back from the hotel back here to get back here for the show. And what's really cool about the hotel, and this is where I'm going to talk about psychometry a little bit with you guys. If you guys don't know what psychometry is, it's something that holds energy, whether it's a wristwatch, earrings, wood, limestone. This hotel has a ton of marble and a ton of mahogany wood. Mahogany wood is a very hard wood and it holds energy. If you guys know the movie The Shining, this is what this hotel reminded me of, the long hallways. I'll post a picture here of the long hallways. I was expecting two little twin girls to come out at the end and say hi to me. But the story itself of The Shining, Stephen King stayed at a hotel in Colorado, and the whole entire foundation of the hotel is built on limestone. Very active hotel. If you guys know what I'm talking about, put it in the comment section, because right now it slips my mind what the name of the hotel is. But he actually wrote The Shining from staying there that night and his interactions with the paranormal, the spirit world. Some would say ghosts. For me, there's a difference between an intelligent energy and a residual energy, and I tried both last night. So I got up at just a few hours ago. I was up at 3 o'clock. About 3:15 is that when I actually got up, and my wife was with me, Jenny. I don't think she was too happy about this investigation from the start. But what we did, I did both residual energy just to see if I could pick up on something. I did pick up on the lady, long dark hair, white dress. I kept getting the initials of E and P, like an Eva sounding, a Pauline sounding. Doesn't mean that was her. Her actual name was Alice. After I looked it up, I found out that her name was Alice. But she is known to have long dark hair and be seen roaming the halls in a white dress. So I did get that connection. I didn't get the name connection. But talking to the bartender, and it was literally like the bar out of The Shining. If you guys have seen The Shining, it's all glass, mahogany. I ended up having a Maker's Mark, bourbon on the rocks, kind of like in the movie. And we were talking to the bartender, just asking questions and having him share his stories of the strange occurrences that have taken place around this hotel. And again, this hotel has been through Prohibition, World War II. It's changed ownership several times. And he said it's interesting because there's a hospital right down the street that I teach at, Harborview. I didn't realize that this hotel was right down the street from where I teach. And he said they sometimes get a lot of people that pass over from the hospital that will actually come into the lobby, and people will pick up on that. Very cool hotel. Not to be anything scared of. I'm not here to scare anybody when it comes to, when we say haunted, that just means energy is either residual or intelligent. And where I'm going with this is the mahogany wood holds energy, and we call that psychometry. So you can actually touch objects, go into a place, and feel the residual energy of the past, of history. You can do this on land. I know I felt this on the beaches of D-Day when I went to France. You can stand on Native American grounds where there's been battles. I know people connect to land, shamanism, and the history of what the land holds. So this hotel was all done in dark mahogany wood, so holds energy very well. So last night during my investigation, my paranormal prospecting, this is my very first one I've ever done, and it just happened to be by chance. This was not planned. We had to use the hotel by the end of April, and the only day we had was yesterday, Sunday, which also fell on a full moon, or known as a pink moon. So again, kind of some cool stuff that just started aligning, not by planning, but just synchronistic, coincidental, however you want to call it. So full moon, lots of energy. Haunted hotel with a lot of mahogany wood that holds energy. Limestone, mahogany, different types of wood, different types of stone actually hold energy. And even when I first walked into the hotel, guys, I got a little dizzy. I felt like in the bar called the Woodside Fire bar, I felt like there was a whole party going on. It was very similar to like the picture you see in The Shining with all the people having drinks. Not that they were in hell or their own hell. It was just residual energy of the past that I was picking up on. So when I got up this morning, I did some video. I did catch some spirit orbs. But I have to tell you, the coolest thing is in the bathroom, which is all marble, the garbage can that was by the toilet had moved to the center of the toilet, and all the toilet paper had strung off the toilet paper roll. So I had to wake up Jenny to have her come see this, because she was the last one in the bathroom. And I had to actually wake her up and say, you got to come see this. And of course, as I'm filming, the toilet starts running, which scared the crap out of me. So yes, I am a spiritual worker, but I am human too, and I do get a little scared from time to time. So good morning to everybody. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Tammy. Just talking about paranormal prospecting for a local hotel here called the Sorrento Hotel. It was built in 1909 and has been around for, it's a historical landmark here in Seattle. It's at the top of what we call Beacon Hill, and it is very cool. So I would highly recommend it. They actually do a dinner every October that's like a seance. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to do like a dinner with deceased, or deceased dinner, something where I could actually do a mediumship demonstration and also have a dinner in this hotel. I think that'd be kind of cool to do. So I wanted to share that with you about a little bit of paranormal prospecting that I did this morning, just a few hours ago, 3 o'clock in the morning, so I'm a little tired, but it was a lot of fun. And again, when I saw that garbage can had moved, and the toilet paper had unspooled. Now, of course, the analytical mind's going to say, oh, maybe the garbage can got kicked or Jenny moved it. She swears she didn't touch it. I didn't touch it. The toilet paper could have, unspooled itself. So we always try to analyze and come to reasoning. We have a reasoning mind. But I just know from the moment I walked in, the history of it, the energy of the place, it holds residual energy. And so the difference, what I was saying, between residual energy is just picking up patterns of people that have resided there over the years versus intelligent energy. And so I did some rappings where I knocked on the wall to see if I'd get a response. I did not get a response. And if it would have responded to me, so the one thing that I do is a haircut and a shave. So that sounds like, and then you wait for a response. And if you get a response, that's spirit world communicating with you intelligently. I didn't get a response to my knocking. However, heard footprints all night long, like somebody was going to walk around the hallway. We actually had to close the door when we fell asleep until I woke up at 3, because I felt like we were being watched. I felt like, and even Jenny's like, just close the door, because I feel like there's people watching us in this room. 408. But it was, and then at 3, I opened up the door to have that experience. So I'm getting a message. I don't know what that means. Cindy, good morning. How are you? She's saying yawn, must be waking up. So grab your coffee, guys. Grab your tea. This is Metaphysical Mocha Mondays here, broadcasting on the Intuitive Prospector page. We're going to go till 8:30 for today's topic, which I'm talking about psychometry, the power of objects or land or hotels in this case, holding energy, the difference between residual energy and intelligent energy, or residual spiritual residual energy or intelligent spiritual energy. And again, the difference is residual is just patterns. Think about when you get up, you go to the bathroom, you go downstairs, you have breakfast. Well, you might want to get dressed first, then go downstairs, go out to your car. You create patterns in life, and that's called residual energy. And people that are sensitive like myself, mediums, light spiritual workers, can tap into those residual lines, kind of like ley lines around the earth, right? And the intelligent information is when the spirit world communicates back with you, either through the sound of a rapping, through the sound of a voice that you might hear. When I work as a medium, I'm actually seeing memories, and they're working with me intelligently through my clairvoyance, which is here in the third eye. I just did a Friday night dem here locally at Inner Alchemy. It was a great evening, wonderful evening, just some amazing evidence where even I'm like, wow, that's really awesome and amazing. But just that's intelligent communications of the spirit world sharing their memories and their knowledge back with me as a messenger to the people in the audience. So wanted to talk about the paranormal prospecting, because this is my first paranormal prospecting, if you will. Not planned, all fell together, full moon, kind of cool. And so I thought I'd just share that with you. So let me know where you guys are from. Again, I have the comments turned off right now, but at 8:30 I will turn the comments back on, so make sure that we recycle some of the comments if you have a question for me. So starting at 8:30, so in about 15 minutes, I will be taking your direct questions. I'll be interacting with you directly here on the Intuitive Prospector page. We may do a reading. You may have a spiritual conversation with somebody here that's also part of the spiritual community. May pull a card. But I also want to get into a positive mantra for you for this week. So the show is actually dedicated to inspiring, to metaphysics, to meditation, to healing, to, as a humanitarian, just what's going on in the world, trying to make this a better place for all of us. You guys can see that I have my official Forest Friday hat on. So these are trees. I know it's the American flag, but I liked it because it had the trees. We have our first spiritual hike coming up in May. If you're here in the local Seattle area of the Pacific Northwest, we'll be doing the first hike on May 11th, which is a Friday, going to Rattlesnake Ridge. Easy hike. I'm going to be leading the hike as a Washington Trails Association guide. Going to be doing some Qigong exercises, teaching you how to move energy. And then the owner of Inner Alchemy, Mari, is going to go with me, and she's going to lead the group in a meditation. So it's, bring your own food, bring your own gear. We do ask for a donation of $10. That's to pay for gas and any kind of fees for the hiking trail. But you're going to get Qigong, nature, meditation, and again, that's all through Forest Friday. So go to marclanehart.com if you want to learn more about the Forest Friday. Just let me know. We're going to be carpooling from West Seattle and then also at Issaquah on our way up to Snoqualmie for the first Forest Friday of the year. I'll be doing these throughout the summer until the weather changes, usually about October, so pay attention to those because there's another one already planned for June. But this is my Forest Friday because I'm excited to get out in nature. It's been a little bit since I've been out in nature myself, so I'm excited to get back out in nature because, as you can see from the backdrop, nature is our greatest teacher. Nature is our greatest healer. So I wanted to give you your positive mantra for this week. I'm also going to give you a numerology number, a prospecting stone to think about, and a spirit totem animal guide to help you on your journey through this week, because that's what Metaphysical Mocha Mondays is all about. Inspiration, looking at things from a different perspective, observation. And again, I just thank you for being here. It's really nice to meet all the spiritual prospectors that are out there exploring this wonderful world of ours. So the mantra for this week is a mantra. If you don't work with mantras, I teach and I work with my clients all the time that your thoughts become your words. So your words really do matter. So if you think that your words don't matter, you may want to rethink that, because it's a vibration, it's a frequency, it's a tone, it's an energy that you're giving off. So a mantra is repeating something that's positive, uplifting, that helps change your mindset so you start to believe it, see it, and achieve what you want for your life moving forward. So this week's positive mantra is very simple. I am beautiful and smart, and that is how the world sees me. I am beautiful and smart, and that is how the world sees me. So if you can say that a few times throughout the day, that helps with the mindset. Again, I am beautiful and smart, and that is how the world sees me. Because the world has many different eyes. The world has many different opinions. The world has many different judgments. Trust me, I know, as a spiritual worker now, I've had all the judgments, all the opinions. You're crazy. Marc's lost his mind. Blah, blah, blah. But that's not living authentic. Living authentic is going after what you want. And you can do that by believing in the power of your own words, through the power of mantra, through the power of meditation, through the power of Qigong, through the power of nature. So that's my role, is to be an inspirer, to help you throughout the week. So again, I thank you for being here this morning. We're talking about haunted hotels, the Sorrento Hotel here in Seattle, Washington, paranormal prospecting, if you will. So I got a feeling that I'll probably, because this was not planned, and because this all kind of aligned, even with the full moon. I didn't realize it was a full moon until somebody, I think, Misty, you're watching. I think you're the one that let me know that it was a full moon. I had no idea until I was doing a Facebook Live from the hotel last night, and somebody let me know that it was a full moon. But I think it was Misty. So kudos to you, Misty, for letting me know. I think that was you. If you want to type in the comments that was you, then by all means. Where was I? So I may be doing more paranormal prospecting. Why not, right? Life's short. This is part of the practice, and doing readings and DEMS and Metaphysical Mocha Mondays. Why not throw a little bit of paranormal, create another, what's the show on that they do? Ghost Adventures. I'll change mine to be Soul Adventures. So, but when it comes to ghosts, guys, just know that the spirit world has universal law. They're not here to hurt us. They're not here to take over our body. A lot of the times that's our own mindset. What we don't understand leads us to fear. So I just want to point that out as well. Even though I got a little scared when the toilet started running this morning, I'll say it was pretty cool to see the garbage can had moved and the toilet paper had been strung out. just letting me know that they're there, and there's energy that can, kinetic energy that can move objects and move things. But again, the spirit world doesn't come from a place of fear and to hurt you or take over your body. It's just, again, what we don't understand or what we don't know leads us to that place of fear, and what we see in Hollywood. It's a lot of crap, to be honest with you. But I was just happy to be able to connect to the history and the energy of the Sorrento Hotel, stay in the most active room, which was 408, and actually connect with the lady that had passed there in the hotel. Her name is Alice. I didn't catch her last name on my research this morning, but she is known to be seen walking the halls on the 4th floor in a white dress and long dark hair. I didn't see her walking the hallways. I just had a sense of knowing. A lady in a white dress with dark hair that was around us. I just had that sense of knowing. We call that claircognizance, which is a sense of knowing something, even though the analytical mind's not sure what that is. But I did not get the names correct. I was picking up the initials of EP. Not to say that there's not somebody there with the initials of EP. It just wasn't connected to her because her name was Alice. I did not get Alice at all. But just talking with the bartenders who were kind of, as we were talking, one bartender was a little leery to talk about it. You could tell he'd had some, experiences. The other one was really interested. He actually had a tattoo on his arm from X-Files, about believing. So I knew that he was, into this unseen, unknown kind of stuff. So we had a conversation, and he was very kind to get me a business card because I think it'd be fun to do a dinner with the deceased at this hotel and do a demonstration, maybe bring in a spiritual artist to draw on spirit, and then be in the presence of all of this historical hotel with all the dark mahogany wood. Kind of cool, right? So the number for this week that I pulled for my meditation this morning is the number 9. So pay attention to the number 9 as we get into May 9th. We're heading for May tomorrow. Pay attention to the 9th of May. I'll be back for another episode before we hit May 9th, but there's a completion energy. Purple is a color, very spiritual color, but there's a sense of completion for you this week. So if you're trying to get things completed, make a priority to do that. The stone, the prospecting stone for this week is called Charite, Charite, Charoite. I probably mispronounced it. I don't know where they come up with the names of this, but the reason that it aligned, one, it's tied to the color purple, so it's got a purple tint to it, and again, that's a card that I pulled this morning, but its attributes, it's a stone of transformation, and it's a soul stone that overcomes fear. So like I was saying last night, I have a little bit of my own fear, even with something as simply as the toilet running, because the garbage can had moved, the toilet paper was strung out, and then the toilet turned on, and you could actually pretty much hear me scream on the video because I was videoing at the time, and so that was funny. But it's overcoming fear, and for me, fear, I always try to use that as an acronym: false evidence appearing real, and then getting down to the root cause of why it is I'm fearful of something, and usually it's going to come back. Pretty much 9 times out of 10 is because it's my own mindset, it's my own consciousness, it's my own not understanding what my eyes are telling my brain. But this stone, Charite, is a stone of transformation. It is a soul stone that overcomes fear, and it stimulates inner vision and spiritual insight. So that's your prospecting stone for the week. And again, it's kind of it's a purple color, so the color of spirituality, purple. It's molted, swirled, and veined, often small and tumbled or polished, and its source comes from Russia. So kind of a cool looking stone, and again, it is to help you have it, if you're fearful of something, whether you're doing a haunted hotel, doing paranormal prospecting, or fearful of something else, something about your career, something about a relationship, something about just maybe worrying about your own passing or worrying about a family member. Use this stone because it helps as a soul stone to overcome fear. And again, it stimulates inner vision and spiritual insight and aids in coping with enormous change at a spiritual level. So pretty cool stone for you. So that's your prospecting stone for the week. Again, the completion. So work on completing something, 9 days, 9 hours. Work on completing something for your numerology number for this week. Again, the mantra for this week is, I am beautiful and smart, and that is how the world sees me. So again, I like to teach on believe it, see it, achieve it. And the totem animal spirit for this week is you may, it's the meerkat. So if you guys know what a meerkat is, I think of the meerkat from The Lion King. I think he was a meerkat in The Lion King with the hog. The meerkat, if the meerkat shows up, whether in nature, on TV, in a magazine, the meerkat is telling you, you may have some digging to get to a solution or answers that you're seeking. So if you're seeking something and you're working on something specifically this week, check out the meerkat, pay attention to the meerkat, because he will literally pop up. And you know the meerkats because they pop up out of the grass. Sometime in the next few days, go to a place where you can get a great sunrise. Again, getting out into nature, get that sunrise, and seek out some companionship or support with your family or close friends, because that's very important, or your spiritual community as well. I think it's important to have, I started to do this Metaphysical Mocha Mondays because, one, it's my way of reaching out to connect to people, because I think it's important to try to reconnect to people, because we're more connected ever in the history of mankind, but we're more disconnected than ever. And so if I can use the power of social media, YouTube, Facebook, my own online spiritual development group to connect people and to help people see things differently, then that's the goal of what I'm trying to accomplish with this, but also give you access to inspiration and different ways of thinking and meditation modalities and living life. That's what life is about. My tagline, if you know me, is dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live. Not something that I always had the mindset to do, especially with my great transformation and tragedies that I went through, my own near-death experience. But it is, life's short, so live it, guys. It's a lot of fun. So again, went over the prospecting stone, the numerology number, your animal guide, your mantra for the week. So a lot to think about. Just was sharing with you about psychometry energy, objects, land location, hotels. I stayed at the Sorrento Hotel last night and did a paranormal prospecting investigation early this morning to see if I could connect with residual energy. That's just residual energy of the past, people leaving their energy behind and us tapping into it, versus intelligent energy, which is where the spirit world communicates with you directly, whether it's through a thought, a memory, hearing something, smelling something, a perfume. I did get some chills last night as I was videotaping. I had a couple spirit orbs that came towards the video when I asked it to. I have to go back, and I haven't even had the ability yet to research the video to see if I caught or captured anything, but I can guarantee you that I definitely got chills. And we call that clairsentience, which is, if you think about it, your skin is your largest organ on your body. So when you feel something, your hair stands up, or for us guys that have, beards or facial hair, it's like little antennas, if you will, that can pick up on energy. And so you may feel like cobwebs on your face. You may get chills where the actual hair stands up on your arm. Just a sense of knowing that there's something around you. That's all part of the paranormal world. Again, it's unseen. And the best way I explain the unseen world is, if you see a tree moving in the wind, you see the effects of the wind, and you accept it for what it is, but you don't actually see the wind with your physical eye. We see the effects of the wind, we just don't see the wind. The spirit world can be much the same way. We can see effects of the spirit world, but we don't necessarily see the spirit world with our physical eyes. It's more of this third eye right here. So, but I'm going to start getting into the Q&A after show. I want to thank you for joining me this morning for main show, Metaphysical Mocha Mondays, talking about paranormal prospecting, the Sorrento Hotel here in Seattle, Washington, the power of psychometry and how psychometry objects, places, land, buildings can actually hold energy of the past. So if you want to tune into something that's really old, head over to Rome. If you want to really tune into ancient history. I remember when I was in Rome walking the original cobblestones of Rome, the road, I got really dizzy. And I got dizzy last night when I walked into this hotel, so I knew we were off to a good start. And it was very funny because even the lady behind the desk, her name was Jackie, she was checking us in. And I didn't really say anything about what I was doing, but she said, what's going on? You're giving me chills. What's up with you? She goes, I've been here for 15 years and I've never had this experience. And then I kind of told her why we were there, what I am as a spiritual medium and as a spirit spiritual light worker and just, connecting with those that are no longer here. And then she really got the chills, but I thought it was just kind of funny. So shout out to her for checking us in. She was really cute and really nice lady. She goes, okay, you got to come back down and let me know if you get anything, because I'm here till 11 o'clock, but we didn't see her. But you never know. So kudos to the staff at the Sorrento Hotel, the two kind bartenders that gave us information and just kind of answered our questions and shared stories, ghost stories with us. And of course, the main lady that checked us in, and even the nice lady, the housekeeping lady that we rode the elevator up with. She was really sweet. And said, oh, yeah, you're going into room 408. Let's see how that goes. So we made it through the night. I don't know if Jenny will ever do a paranormal investigation with me again. She's still a little, I think, freaked out from this morning with the garbage can and the toilet paper and hearing the footprints all night. We kind of slept with one eye open. But she did experience some paranormal activity this morning, and that's kind of cool, and that's what it's all about. So if you guys want to connect with me, if you want to drop off, no problem. If you want to stay on, I'm going to do the Q&A after show where I have a direct conversation. So if you want to start asking your questions now, because it is technically 8:30 right now, I'll answer your questions. I'll turn the comment section back on. I'll go back to the Facebook page and try to answer your questions best I can. I'm only going to be on for about a half hour, just because I'm still a little tired from this morning. 3 o'clock, I usually don't get up and do paranormal investigations. But thanks for hanging out with me here on Metaphysical Mocha Mondays. We're going to switch format to the Q&A after show, so grab your coffee, grab your tea. And of course, have a great week if you guys are dropping off. Have a great rest of your week and try to use that mantra. So let's get a little bit of music going. Let me turn the comment section back on here so we can get into the Q&A after show. So the Q&A after show, we're just staying on the main page now of the Intuitive Prospector. So if you have a question for me, I've got the comment section turned on. I'm giving shout outs to all of you. Let me just turn the comment section here so I can see them as they come in. So again, if you have a question, please post it now. If you posted a question before, I didn't see it because the comment section were turned off. But good morning, Debbie. Tammy says, I would like to hear more about the development group again. We can talk on Saturday as well. You bet. Tammy, I have an online weekly development group. I do it through the Zoom platform now. I've had a lot of great success. It's a closed group, so you'd have to become a visitor to see if you vibe with the tribe and see if the tribe vibes with you, because I think it's important to have cohesion of a group and good energy and synergy between everybody. But it's called SDG. It's the Spiritual Development Group. We meet every Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we go to about 7:30, 8 o'clock, depending on the exercises. So you can check that out. Just private message me, email me, go to marclanehart.com. We've been together for about a year and a half. It's an online group, but it's really a lot of fun, a lot of different exercises. And if you're looking to grow with your spiritualism, spiritual practice, psychic abilities, mediumship abilities, healing, writing, meditating, it's a great place to start. So let's see here. Michelle, it seems like animals, pets are also leaving the planet during this ascension time. Can you speak about if that's true? Yeah, Michelle, that's interesting because on Friday I did a DEM and all of a sudden a bunch of animals came through. And I'm usually not that way. I get a few animals that'll come through, but all of a sudden it was like Noah's Ark flooded. So it's interesting that you bring that up. And I literally had dogs, I had cats, I had parrots. And I was asking people, would you understand the name Fizzy, Fluffy, a green parrot? And everybody was taking it. And it was absolutely fun to watch. As far as the ascension goes, my co-host Kim, who is my co-host on Inspired Living Radio, she's been talking a lot about the ascension process. And as far as to answer your question of why so many animals are leaving, I'm not really sure. But it's not just animals. There's a lot of people that are also checking out. Unfortunately, we just had a dear friend just a few weeks ago pass away from suicide. So, maybe the energy and the change is so great that people and animals are saying, this is not for me, and ascending to a higher level. So, Jenny says, hello, watching from Japan. Well, how do you say hello from Japan? Is it amagato? So, I don't know Japanese. I know Italian, so I could say buongiorno. But yeah, Michelle, I don't know why all the animals are leaving, but it was interesting that I got a bunch of animals on my Friday night dem. So thanks for your question. I didn't really answer it. I apologize. But anything that's ascension based on why something is happening, I don't necessarily know the answer to that. I just think that there's a great struggle going on. Frederick Douglass talked about this back during the revolution, or during the Civil War. And he talked about without great struggle, through great struggle comes great progress. And I think right now in society, we're going through a great struggle with everything from politics to religion to society to social media to community. There's a great struggle that's taking place. But in order to get to a higher place, a higher self, an ascension, it's usually through some sort of struggle. And maybe the animals pick up on that. So I'm not sure. So let me see what other comments we have coming in here. Let's see here. Hi, Kendi Laud. Am I saying your name right? Debbie is saying, Jody says, hi, Jody. How are you? Hi, Mark. Can you please pull a card for me to help me to help my daughter this week? How can I best help her? Okay, so it's kind of like the movie with Tom Cruise, where he says, help me, help you. So this is your daughter, so you're being a guide for your daughter. This is for Jody. I'm going to pull from one of my spiritual decks. So the card that I pulled for you this morning is to pull a card to help your daughter. It's talking about new beginnings. So this is something that's starting out. This is usually a traveler of the world. So to help, based on this card, to help your daughter out, Jody, is maybe allow her a little bit more freedom to explore and discover. Still be the guide for her, but necessarily not the parent and being overly parently, and let her see the world a little bit more. And learn from that, because we do learn from our experiences. And it's kind of like, the concept that comes to mind is when the baby bird doesn't want to stay in the nest, and we have to, the mom bird pushes it out and allows it to fly and sees that there's a bigger world. But for you, Jody, it's allowing her to explore a little bit more and learn from her mistakes or failure. And when I mean mistakes and failure, I don't mean that in a bad way. For me, FAIL is an acronym I use often: first attempt in learning. But it's through failing that we have, we learn from that, we are educated from that, and education leads us to knowledge, and knowledge leads us to more experiences, experiences lead us to wisdom, and eventually some sort of enlightenment. So there's just an energy there about letting her explore a little bit more and learn from that exploration. Still be a guide, still be watching from above to make sure she doesn't, get injured or anything like that. But that's just the energy that I'm picking up from that card for you. So, good morning, Kimberly. How are you? Michelle, thanks for your question. A card for wealth coming. Debbie Wells, Tammy. I'm trying to catch up on all your guys's. Wendy says, can you explain why I don't dream? Well, Wendy, you do dream. You're just not remembering your dreams. So what I would do for dreams is dream journal. The first minute you wake up, have the dream journal next to your bed. Even write down, if you didn't dream anything, write down how you feel physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, because everybody dreams. The brain is more active asleep than it is awake. So that's pretty cool. They've done tons of sleep studies. I was just watching on 60 Minutes about all the cool projects they're doing at the Media Lab at MIT in Boston. And it's kind of cool because one of the projects they're working on is a device that, as you're about to go into your dreamscape, this little, Siri machine says, oh, we would like to take you to the mountains. And then you have your dreamscape that takes you to the mountains and records that. So it was on 60 Minutes. It's the projects of the future, and one is actually about your dreams. So you may want to check that out, Wendy. But guaranteed from science and my understanding of sleep studies and the science of the brain, everybody dreams. Why you don't remember, I would start to set your intent, because energy follows intent. and set your intent that you want to start remember your dreams. But as soon as you get up, before your feet even hit the ground, it's like grounding out. Write down your dreams, and if you can't remember your dreams, write down how you feel, because if you feel tired when you woke up, you're probably astral traveling, you're probably having some pretty great dreams, and then try to recall just one piece of your dream and write that down. See if dream journaling helps. If anybody else has a great idea for Wendy, please put it in the comment section, because this just isn't about me connecting with you guys. This is a spiritual community as well now that I've created for people to talk to each other, and of course do it in a respectful manner. I don't want to have to block anybody, and we want to be kind, caring, compassionate when we're in social media, because people can get behind keyboards and be pretty aggressive and to the point. So, and I've seen it firsthand. So Debbie says, good morning, cards in relation to health or wealth. Okay, so you want to be wealthy, Deb, right? Because we're the only species that pays to live here, and we all want to have money, right? Because at the end of the day, we don't get to take it with us. So let me pull a card on wealth. Let me see what I get for you. Oh, so be careful with the wealth. This is for Debbie Wells Flanders. I pulled the trickery card. Be careful of things that you may want to put money into. The squirrel and the dragon. It's kind of interesting. Like, hey, here's a cool basket. Let's pay some money for that. And then look at the dragon holding the kind of, oh, here, I've got this for you. So there's a trickery coming up around wealth and money. So when that card comes up, Debbie, be careful of things that you're investing in. It's a good time to take the time to research. Don't do it during Mercury retrograde. We're out of Mercury retrograde now. But as far as wealth, be careful of what you're investing in. I always say your best wealth is your health. So anything that you can invest in from a health standpoint, that's your best wealth. So health is your wealth. But I know what you're asking for as far as how do you get more money in regards to wealth. Be careful of those projects. Stocks, for example, the stock market. Just pay attention, put in some time to research. So thank you for your question, Debbie. Okay, let's see here. I'm probably missing somebody, so bump if I missed you, because again, I'm scrolling up. Hi, Jenny from Japan. I got you. Misty says, did you pick 3 a.m. for a specific reason? Great question, Misty. I did. 3 a.m. is, some would call it the witching hour. Some would call it the devil's hour. I picked 3 a.m. because the veil is very thin at that point in time. So the spiritual masters, the meditation masters, the monks in Tibet, they always talk about the best time to meditate and connect is between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. because the world is, in certain parts of the world, depending on where you're at, is asleep. Another time that I meditate is when I'm on an airplane at 30,000 feet. So I'm 30,000 feet up and the veil is very thin. At 3 a.m., thanks for pointing that out. So it was actually 3:23 when I woke up without an alarm. I woke up. So I know that the spirit world was already guiding me to wake up. But I do that because it's silent. Everything is still. I can tune in and feel residual energy, try to have an intelligent communication with the spirit world to see if I get any kind of interactions. Like I said, we were hearing a lot of footsteps. We felt like there was, we were being watched. But I do 3 a.m. Because the veil is very thin. It's a full moon cycle, and it's just a better way to connect. For my meditation practice every morning, I'm up at 4:30 and I meditate in the shower at 4:30 because it's quiet and it's before I get my day going, before I get the mind, because the mind starts racing from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to bed. The mind is always going to be doing something, and that's going to happen until you actually move back into the spiritual consciousness, whatever your belief system is. So it's trying to discipline the mindset, the thoughts that you have, and you can do that through the power of meditation. But great question, Misty. Thank you for asking. 3 a.m. specific because it's very, very quiet, very still, and the spiritual veil is very, very thin. Jody said, I had to put down our 15-year-old lab Zella this past Wednesday. Oh, Jody, I'm so sorry. That is so hard, especially, when it's the fur babies and the four-legged kids, as I like to say, because they're such a big part of our family. And I've had to do that a few times in my path, and it's always the toughest thing. But I tell you what, one positive aspect, Jody, is that we have the ability to allow them to cross over. In a sense, we play God for them, right? Because we have the ability to give them that shot that allows them. It's instantaneous, too. It's so amazing. I hope someday we can do that for people, to be honest with you. I hope that we can have that where we know the person is terminal, we don't want them to suffer, and they've made the decision, no, give me the shot so I can transfer over and be out of pain and be back home just like we do for animals. So pay attention for the next few days. Jody, dog just moving around, footsteps, maybe the smell, very impactful, but condolences on the passing of Zella. Still with you in spirit, though. Jenny, Rise, konnichiwa. Okay, I knew it was something like that. So, Jenny, konnichiwa. Fun. Good morning, Lisa. So, Debbie, you got the card about your wealth. You know it's coming, just wondering when. Yeah, I say, visualize, manifest. Power of mindfulness is huge. Plant the seeds today for the future you want tomorrow. And if money and if that's what you want, go for it. Dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live. So, awesome, guys. And look at Jody getting all the love for the spiritual community. You guys are awesome. Kimberly O'Brien, McKintrick, good morning to you. Would love a card about finances. So we're getting some finances this morning. Okay, let me pull a card this is for Kimberly. I'm going to use my other spiritual deck. Okay, so this card is about finances. Healing begins. So the 6 is about energy, about love in numerology. The 6 represents love. So Kimberly, specifically around the heart. Now finances, I know you're asking about finances, but we pulled the healing begins. So when I get this card from my clients, this tells me that there's some self-love and self-healing for you. Sometimes it might even be a lawsuit. If there's a lawsuit that's going on, if there is something, late payments, dues, taxes, that can be part of that as well. The healing begins. So like I always remind people, we're the only species that pays to live here, so we don't want to get too wrapped up in finances. We do need money to survive, not naive to that aspect. But as far as finances, there's a healing behind the finances and the money. So I'm not sure what that means. If that means that you're donating to a cause, a charity, using your finances to help other, to pay it forward. I know one of the things that I like to do, I'll share with you guys, is when I'm at Starbucks, I usually, if I'm through a drive-thru, I'll buy the person behind me a coffee, just trying to pay it forward and see if we can get that energy going. So I don't know what that means for you, Kimberly, but it's the healing begins. Let me just pull another numerology card. There's an effort behind it, numerology 13 as well. The effort card for you, this is for Kimberly. Put a little bit of effort into the finances as well, and pay attention to May 13th, which is a great day, by the way, because that's my anniversary. 23 years married. Wow. Okay, so thank you for your question, Kimberly. I hope that makes sense. I hope that helps. Sometimes when I do this work, I don't know why I'm giving you this stuff. I'm just intuitively giving it to you, so I hope that helps. Michelle says there are a lot of passing and transitions lately. Yeah, I think because there's great chaos in the world too. But again, as I'll even give you a nautical term here. Without rough seas, you don't develop your sea legs. A good sailor that can navigate the seas does not depend on smooth sailing. We actually depend on rough sailing so we can get to the smooth sailing and be able to navigate anything. So I think that's a part of it too. There's just a lot going on. Lisa says, Marc, card on letting go and trusting. Well, I'll give you the song from Moana, Let It Go. Or no, that's not Moana. That's Frozen. So the song from Frozen, I want you to pay attention to see if you get that song, Lisa. Let It Go. For you, I'm going to pull the no card for you. The no card is, 52, but you need to say no. And part of your letting go is literally like talk to the hand, because Lisa ain't doing this, so no. And it's a very strong word that suggests stop, think again, and take action before actually doing something. So that's going to be part of your letting go and trusting. Lisa, I know you personally, I know how caring you are and wanting to help people, but sometimes you have to say no because it's for your journey and it's also for that other person's journey. And I know we've talked about this in spiritual development group. Sometimes it's with the butterfly. The butterfly's trying to get out of the cocoon, and this person sees that the butterfly is on the ground, struggling to get out of the cocoon. They pick it up and they pull the butterfly out of the cocoon. But by doing so, their intent was to help. But if the butterfly would have said no, if it could talk, it would say, no, don't help me, because it is that struggle that develops my wings so I can fly. And unfortunately, because the butterfly was pulled out of the cocoon too early, it'll never fly. So we want to make sure that you're flying, and you do that by saying no. And pay attention to Frozen song, Let It Go. I guarantee you're going to hear it. Christina, hello. Hello, new here and would love a card, please. Well, welcome. This is a community for spiritual prospectors, or I like to say spiritual prospecting for your own spiritual gold. Thanks for being here. One of the requirements for hanging out with us is to have a cup of coffee, have a cup of tea. Just finished up the main Metaphysical Mocha Monday show, and this is the after show with me where I directly have contact with you and answer your questions. I'm going to challenge you, Christina, because you're new here. This is for Christina Olson. Let us as a community know where you're from, and be a little bit more specific on your question. Your question is very general, and I don't like to work in generalities. I like to be as specific, evidential, and accurate as I can as a psychic medium. So I would challenge you to repost and be specific on a question so I can pull a card specific to that question. Good stuff. All right, Michelle's saying, hey, good morning. I would love a card about finances. I feel like we are never going to get out of this rut. Well, Michelle, if you're already feeling that, we need to change the mindset, right? Because your mind becomes your words become your actions. So if your mindset's telling you you're never going to get out of this rut, you never will. So we want to start having visualization. We want to start manifesting in here. Speak it out into our reality, because I always say things are born twice. One in our mind, and then second into our reality. So let's get out of this rut to starting right now. Today is April 30th, last day of April. Starting tomorrow, you're out of this rut visually, emotionally, mentally, physically, and you're going to start giving the vibration and energy off of having an energy and a thought process that stimulates good finances. For the card, we're going to get the synchronicity card. So it's kind of what I was saying. Pay attention to the 87 or 15. 87, which adds up to 15, and then 15 adds up to 6, which is about self-love. Check out synchronicities when it comes to your finances. This is for Michelle Robinson. But let's start with just the visualization and manifestation for the mindset, because it all starts with your mind. It all starts with your thoughts, and you will get out of this rut if you believe you will get out of this rut. If you don't, then you won't. So believe it, see it, achieve it. Thanks for your question. And things are going to start looking up soon. Lisa, I was led to look at getting or making a dream catcher and also dream catcher essential oil. Check that out, Lisa. Wendy, thank you for the info. You're welcome. I have a dream journal. So again, Wendy, just write down, even if you can't get a nugget of that dream, write down how you feel at that moment in time when you wake up, and then you can start to go deeper with that. Hey, Deeps, good morning. How are you? Hope you're well, my friend. I am doing very well. I'm a little tired. Did a paranormal investigation last night at a Seattle haunted hotel. It was pretty cool. I'll try to post some pictures. Tammy says, I would love a card on how to help my family during this time, how to communicate with them. Okay, Tammy. I'm going to go to one of my other decks here. Yeah, so I pulled the confusion card. So there's a lot of disconnection right now based on, you already just told me that. But you got a lot of different, people are closed off. Sometimes, Rumi talked about listening more and speaking less. The more silent we are, the more we can hear. I would challenge you, Tammy, to meditate and set an intention specifically for one family member at a time. Loving them from a distance, observing, but not necessarily having a confrontation. Because again, you have to ask yourself, do you want to be right about something, or do you want to be at peace with your journey? And only you can answer that. But I would say there is a confusion going on. Set your intent and meditate on what would be the best course of action. Are words necessarily the best way to communicate? Or maybe go out and doing something together. Maybe, taking them on a hike, going out to pizza, and just kind of slowly get into that conversation. But I would single out each person and set an intent for that person, because each person's different. Each person's how they receive information could be different. And timing too, this is for Tammy. The timing is important to this. Timing is everything. So pay attention about the timing and the cycle and the seasons in which we're in, because I feel like that's important too. So I hope that things clear up, and keep loving them from afar. You're welcome, Debbie. Marc, never knew about flying. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. Claire. So welcome, Claire from England. You did make it. I sometimes find setting the intention to dream, and most importantly, remember, it sometimes works for me. So that's Claire giving Wendy a recommendation. I'm a firm believer, if you set the intent, again, the intent starts up here. You can speak it out in a mantra. The mantra for this week I was given during the show is, I am beautiful and smart, and this is how the world sees me. So that's the actual mantra. But when you give your words and you set the intent, energy follows intent, but you also have to keep attention to your original intention and follow up through action, free will and choice, but attention to your intention is very powerful in keeping that in the loop and keeping that in your mindset. And that's where mantras are also important, because it keeps your mind engaged with what you want to believe, or getting out of a rut, to increase your finances, to heal family communications, to have better finances. It really starts with us. There's a lot of truth of the only way out is in, and you can do that through the power of meditation, connecting to higher self, ascension, and not get caught up necessarily what people would say about you or tell you what to do, or sometimes, Lisa, right, say, no, not going to do that. That's okay. All right. So prayers going out, hearts going out. Hi, Mara. How are you? Welcome. Would love a card. So Kimberly is wanting a card on finances, please. I'm really enjoying this group. Kimberly saying, yeah, we have a lot of fun. It's a spiritual community, spiritual prospectors, exploring your own spiritual goal, because it's different for everybody. But I'll pull a card for you on finances. I'm going to go to the numerology deck for you. This is for Kimberly. Thanks for being more specific on your question. Okay, so I want you to pay attention. This is on finances, please. It's kind of in line with what I was just talking about. So this is from my numerology deck. The number 61, which adds up in numerology to the number 7. So I want you to pay attention to the month of July during the 7th or the 7th of May, the 7th of June, or specifically the month of July when it comes to your finances. And I also want you to start having some self-love for you, for your finances, for what you want to get out of your finances. So if you had all the money in the world, Kimberly, what would you do with it? Would you buy lavish, expensive things that you can't take with you? Or would you use the money to help others out? Would you use the money to set up a foundation? Think about what all those finances and riches would bring to you and what you would do with that. And that's also having self-love. How do you use your finances to help others? Because again, we're the only species that pays to live here. And you can see how much confusion money causes. It does say it is the root of all evil. But I would change it up and apply finances to self-love. How can my money make money, and how can my money help others? That's how I visualize finances. For some of you that even work with me, paying for a reading, I try to do it all automated because I don't like dealing with the finances. When you're doing a spiritual reading with me, just because we chop down trees, we turn it into paper, and we print it out and we exchange it, and you can't take it with you. So I hope that helps, but find a little self-love and set your intent for what you want your finances to be and how you would use your finances to benefit and help others along with yourself, and live a lifestyle that is, whatever rich means to you, because rich is different, right? I have a house, I have clean drinking water, I can take a shower every day. That's being rich. There are people around the world that don't even have clean drinking water or a roof over their head. There's people here in Seattle. We have a homeless population. I know LA is just as bad. So have an attitude for gratitude when it comes to finances, and find the grateful 8, what I talk about. Find 8 things in the day that you're grateful for. What are your grateful 8? And you'll see that you're actually truly rich, not just when it comes to finances. So Carol, hi Mark, just about wondering about my kids. One has started a new job, the other is going back to school. I would like to know that it is a good choice for them, and my husband and I are wondering where we're going in the future. We are thinking about moving away and just wonder if that is such a good move. Yeah, Carol, to answer your question, psychically, one started a new job and the other is going back to school after having had her son. Awesome. I would like to know if this is a good choice for them and my husband. I do. I feel like anything to do with education, higher education, vocation, especially if she's just had a child, because that's something that she can instill in her son about a higher education, about her own path. It also opens up the doors of opportunities with higher education. I always recommend. The one reason I joined the Coast Guard, Carol, because my parents couldn't afford to send me to college, and I didn't have the greatest grades coming out of high school, to be honest with you, is I joined the U.S. Coast Guard and spent 8 years of my life serving the United States, but at the same time, they paid for not only my undergrad in education in business management, but part of my graduate studies in sports medicine. So, yeah, I think education is important, so I would say yes to that question. And then for you guys, Carol, I actually see you guys moving to a warmer location. I don't know if your husband has arthritis or you have arthritis, but I'm picking up that there's stiffness and arthritis or something about the joints that you're having to work through, and that weather plays a big part in this. So if you're thinking about moving somewhere warmer, kind of that snowbird effect, 6 months where you live, where it's warm and nice, and then if the season changes, moving down to, I don't know, Mexico or Arizona or California, or even another country like Costa Rica, something like that. But I do feel like that would be a good choice for you and your husband. So thank you for your question. I hope that helps. Kimberly, you're very welcome. Mara says, do I need to worry? Question mark with a heart. Well, Mara, no, because we already worry as a species. Our species name is Homo sapien, and the word sapien actually indicates wise. So we're so wise that we add worry to our life, and our life is already hard enough. Life is already hard enough as it is, Mara. So life doesn't ask us what we want, but then I always say that worrying means that we suffer twice. We're already here suffering, but because we're so intelligent up here that we are the only species that creates our own worry and our drama, so why do we add that on top of things that most of the time don't take place anyway? So I would recommend to you, Mara, if you're struggling with worry, check out Insight Timer, which is a free app on the smartphone. There's great meditations, guided meditations about worrying, about anxiety. I would also say if you struggle with anxiety and worry, send me a private message, Mara, because I'm actually now an affiliate for hemp oil. This is not marijuana oil. This is actually not THC. This is hemp oil, which helps with depression, anxiety. I use it for my chronic pain, for my back pain, but it might be something to just check out and discover for your own path and see if that works. But to answer your question, worrying means we suffer twice. So don't add to it because we're already suffering here in life. And, use the acronym of life itself. Learn it from experience. That's why you're here, is to learn and to grow and to transform. So I hope that helps. Kimberly, wow. I'll keep positive. Enjoy helping others. Love that. Jenny, how about, let's see here. Let me get a drink of coffee here. I'm going to start having to wrap up here, guys. It's a little bit after 9, so I have just a few more questions. So this is for Jenny. How about I meditate while I'm looking at the sunset, the riverside? Is that good? Yeah, I think that's awesome for you. Because, Jenny, any ties to nature is fantastic. When you're looking at a sunset, anytime I look at a sunset, I always ask myself, is this my last sunset? Not that it's your last sunset. I'm not saying that. But there's no guarantees for tomorrow. We don't know if there's going to be a sunrise. So the magic is in the moment. So when you're in that present moment and you find that magic in the moment, when it's a sunset by the riverside, enjoy being in that moment and enjoy the sunset. Enjoy the connection to nature. Again, nature is our greatest teacher, our greatest healer. It's our first home. I just learned, I watched a fabulous documentary called Love Thy Nature, narrated by Liam Neeson. Check it out. Netflix. Awesome. Was watching on the plane ride home. Trees have 25% of the cellular DNA makeup as humans. So we're symbiont of one another. We connect to one another. They need our carbon dioxide, right, to survive. So we exhale carbon dioxide. They take our carbon dioxide, exchange it, and create oxygen. And what do we need to breathe and to live? Oxygen. So there's a relationship that takes place with nature, and people miss that point. But I think it's pretty powerful and awesome that you're enjoying your sunsets. Continue to do that, and you're going to see just that vibration of health and vitality and really just being at peace too. That sounds peaceful. I want to go meditate by the river and a sunset now. Thanks for that inspiration, Jenny. And again, thanks for being here, guys. Okay, so Debbie, or Tammy's talking to Debbie. Awesome. You guys keep going. Thanks, Kimberly. Yep, anniversary, 23 years. We've been together 25 years. Jody, would love to know if I'll find out what's wrong with me before I completely lose hope. Jody, first and foremost, don't lose hope. Hope is very important. I can understand and empathize where you're from. I've had a lot of tragedy in my life, and there are times when, you have the dark night of the soul, but it's darkest before the dawn. And Jenny was just talking about sunsets, and there are sunrises, and this too shall pass. What's wrong with you? It depends on what kind of action you've been taking, as far as, I don't know your path, as far as doctors, medically, emotionally, counseling, test screening. I'm not sure what that means. But keep trying to find the answer. We want to know the answer. That's us as a species wanting to know why. I think, therefore I am. But I would say don't lose hope, because if you lose hope at a cellular level, the body cells respond to this guy, this supercomputer up here. So if this shuts down, a lot of times the body will follow and shut down, because that's losing hope. But I would start to have that mantra. And I'm going to give you that mantra again, Jody. I am beautiful and smart, and that is how the world sees me. But I would add to that, I am beautiful, smart, and healthy. I'm going to find out what's wrong, and that is how the world sees me. Add that to the mantra. Start saying that so you can generate this up here. And at the cellular level, the mind, the brain can't live without the heart. The heart can't live without the brain. I mean, you could be put on a machine, I guess, and live that way, but that's not living. But what I'm saying is, at the cellular level, it begins with your thoughts. So if you give up hope, that has an impact that trickles down. Everything is connected. So keep hope, and I would actually say rise above and have more hope and instill more inspiration and find things that inspire you and uplift you. Music, movies, people, meditation, conversations, aromatherapies, getting out in nature, all the things that can help inspire you to increase hope versus losing hope. So, I'll give you that tagline again: dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live. And I hope that they do find out what's going on with you. I do feel psychically that they will, because I do feel like you're doing some good stuff on seeking to find out what's going on. So, but I'm not a doctor, so I can't diagnose technically here on Facebook Live, Jody. I am a certified healthcare provider, but that doesn't mean that I get to diagnose or give you an outcome. But I can tell you that the cellular level of the mindset is very, very important. So don't ever give up hope and keep thinking big. Again, I am beautiful, smart, and healthy. I will find out what's wrong, and this is how the world sees me. All right, my dear. Keep going. Stay strong. Always move forward. AMF. That's a hashtag I use all the time. Mark, sort of off topic, where did you purchase your cards? Actually, all of my decks have been given to me over time because I do radio. I've been doing radio for 3 years called Inspired Living Radio. That's every Wisdom Wednesday through the Om Times Radio Network. It is a radio show for an hour with my co-host Kim, who's in Richmond, Virginia. We cover everything. So I do want to put up for you guys, for those of you that are watching, if you want to get on to my YouTube playlist, I meant to do this earlier and I forgot, you can, I'll put the link in right now. This is my YouTube playlist. There's over 160 videos, 3 seasons of Inspired Living Radio, 2 seasons of Metaphysical Mocha Mondays, my hiking, my dives, my soul adventures, some other fun stuff. So make sure to subscribe to the playlist and you get all those updates. But to answer your question for the cards, Michelle, all the decks that I have are from former guests that have been on the show over 3 seasons. I've got a deck from John Holland. I've got a deck from the SNU when I was in England that somebody gave me. Numerology deck from really awesome numerologists who will hopefully be on Inspired Living Radio next year. Michelle Buchanan, she's down under in New Zealand. This deck here was from Dr. Stephen Farmer, the Animal Spirit Guide. He wrote a book called Animal Spirit Guide. This is him here. He was on the radio show some years back. Tori Hartman, who some of you may know really well, this is her deck. So to answer your question, all the decks that I have been given to me. I haven't actually purchased a deck. I take that back. I purchased one deck because my old deck that my niece loved wanted it so much that I gave it to my niece, and it was so used. And so I did buy this deck, this original John Holland deck, which is an Oracle deck, which is really one of my favorite decks. I purchased that in place of, because my niece wanted my original deck, so I gave that to her. So that's kind of where the decks come from. I have tons of books, tons of decks, and that's because I do radio. So I put the playlist down below, guys. If you guys want to get on that playlist on YouTube, again, 160 videos, 2 to 3 years of my life dedicated to spiritualism, inspiration, healing, metaphysics, mediumship. Check them out. Get on the playlist, subscribe, and then you can never miss a video. Anytime I upload, I'll upload this video as well. But I just want to thank you guys for being here this morning. I'm going to go ahead and end with that last comment. So I appreciate you being here. I appreciate all you guys. Hi, Maggie. Maggie's watching. And again, thanks for being here. I'll be back next Monday. I apologize if I didn't get to all of your comments. Somebody's from Australia. Awesome. Thanks for being here. again, the main show is Metaphysical Mocha Mondays from 8 to 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. And that's a show dedicated to inspiration guidance. And then we'll do the Q&A after show right after, starting at 8:30, where I have a direct conversation with you guys. I hope that it helped. I hope that you have a great rest of your week. Keep on prospecting, as they say. And again, if you want to get on the playlist for YouTube, please do so. Or you can catch me on the air this Wisdom Wednesday over through Om Times Radio. It's our internet show. It's an internet-based show. You can listen to the show anywhere, from any device, anywhere around the world. You can also join our closed Facebook page, Inspired Living Radio, to ask your question. You can call into our live call-in line. This week will be open phone lines for free reading, so you'll want to definitely check that out. Visit marclanehart.com if you want more information on the events that I'm doing, hikes, mediumship demonstrations, spiritual development group online. Just go to marclanehart.com or internet search The Intuitive Prospector. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off. Have a great rest of your week. Until our next soul adventure, be kind, be caring, be compassionate. Namaste.